Hello, it is the quarter moon UPOSATHA, or the half moon, excuse me. As it decreases towards the new moon, or black moon as it is referred to in some places. The full moon UPOSATHA about 7 days ago now was Magha Puja, a Buddhist holy day. But here in Thailand, each quarter moon is also celebrated to some extent. I think this one may coincide with maybe a government general holiday or something, because there seem to be more people around in town and in the village on alms round offering dana, food, and a few more people coming to the temple this morning with offerings. So I'm quite full and still acclimatizing, getting used to the different kinds of, many kinds of dishes, learning how to distinguish what is sweet, savoury, a bit of both, what is maybe vegetarian or not, and that's not such a difficult thing. It's to have just enough. It's very easy to not have enough or to have too much. So if you're very familiar with the local cuisine, then you can judge more easily. But it's very much getting much easier. And I have certainly no complaints. There's always enough. And I'm always on the side of too much. Never yet, not enough. In terms of what I select as it comes along. But this quarter moon is another opportunity for people to remember that there is an alternative. Now, the reason the monks have this relationship with lay people, the reason we're not allowed to store food overnight or grow our own food or become self-sufficient, is that we have this continual interaction with lay communities, lay people, wherever we live. Because we are reliant on food being offered each and every day, eaten before 12 o'clock, and then we cannot hold anything longer to have the next day. The process starts again. Now, this serves as a reminder to lay people of monastic living, and here in this Buddhist country and in other Buddhist countries, many of the lay people on these quarter moons, as well as the main holy days, not just the 4 most celebrated holy days, but literally almost once a week, they have that opportunity to take some time out and come and spend some time in the monastery for the morning, for the day, or even staying overnight for a few days. And you too, if you're not in a Buddhist country, can do this. It can be in busy lives impossible sometimes to always be keeping your mind on this practice. But if you use this lunar calendar, or even just specify a Wednesday or a Sunday, certainly in the country where I'm from, Sunday is a good day, because that is their religious day each week. But you can use it for contemplating the Dharma, for meditation, for even finding and visiting Dharma groups, Buddhist groups, or Buddhist temples if you're fortunate enough to be nearby one. But this continual interaction between lay people and monastics is what has kept this Sangha, this body of monks, alive and thriving for so many thousands of years, 2,566 years since the time of the Buddha. And this is conducive not only to the support of the monastics themselves and in their development of their practice, but then also with their interaction with lay people, with how they benefit from seeing the opportunity that is there for practice. Now, albeit as lay people, you cannot be practicing, at least initially, all of the time. Once you develop through meditation, through samadhi, this constant awareness, this mindfulness, this ability to be more present in the moment, then you will find that throughout your daily activities you are practicing most of the time. And this is much the same for Buddhist monks, Buddhist nuns. They have duties, they have things to do in the monastery, but they still have to be practicing diligently. Now, the Buddha said to his bhikkhus, to the Sangha, time marches relentlessly on. How well are you spending that time? And how better way to notice this passage of time than by seeing these phases of the moon as it slowly decreases to nothing and then returns to its full brightness on this 15th day of the full moon, and then reducing over the next 15 days to the dark moon. Each and every cycle is another passage of nearly a calendar month, a lunar month, but however it's measured, this is just an intellectual convention, the calendars we use, or even the observation of days passing by is simply recognized by the 24-hour clock, or the sun from rising till setting. For the monastics, the beginning of each day is dawn until the following day. That is our 24 hours. And we divide this up into certain sections, delineating our practice times, our eating times, our duty times, and this has been upheld since the time of the Buddha, unchanged. Why? Because it works. And given the opportunity to go and stay in a monastery, then you can experience this yourself. As in these Buddhist countries, here in Thailand and here at this monastery, there will be some people staying, and probably at the next UPOSATHA and so on, there are lay people that come to spend their time here away from the distractions that are available in our ordinary lives. Now, there's nothing wrong with entertainment, there's nothing wrong with us enjoying ourselves. We like to watch movies and read books about all kinds of subject matter. But these things are not always conducive to the development of wholesome mind states, and can be the cause of some agitation. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if we're looking to develop an established internal quality of equanimity, then one must first come inside, away from the sensual stimulation of seeing and hearing, in order to experience our emotions as they arise, as they pass away, and our physical feelings as they arise and they pass away, as being really our most informative exercise to learning. Now, saying that, I'd like to just talk about meditation, those first 4 stages, briefly. This morning I have put a guided meditation on here, but so far I don't think it's uploaded. I was hoping, having recorded it just after 3 o'clock this morning, before the 4 a.m. bell here, the temple bell, it would be uploaded for around 5 or 6 a.m. here, which is when most countries are awake either at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, giving you the opportunity to share a short time with me in some guided meditation. But it'll be on there at some point, and I'll try, if I can work out how to do it with a microphone, because without a microphone, as you've seen recently, it doesn't work so well, then I will try and do it live when it will go on immediately. So we'll see how that goes. But people ask often about the jhanas, and it's rather jumping the gun a little, because there are some stages prior to reaching the jhanas of meditation, namely 4. Parikamma Samadhi, Upachara Samadhi, Appana Samadhi. Khanika Samadhi is the first. Actually, I missed that one out. Now, putting aside for now these Pali names, let's look at it simply. I like to refer to the first stage of meditation as coming home, the second stage as settling, the third stage as relaxing, and the fourth stage as absorption. Now they translate Khanika Samadhi as momentary concentration, the first stage. Parikamma Samadhi, preliminary concentration, the second stage. Upacharya Samadhi, access concentration, the third stage. And Anapana Samadhi, absorption, even the same word, concentration, the fourth stage. Now what one can draw a simile with is coming home. You've had a busy day in the office, you've had a journey home to get back, you've travelled, and you come into your living space, your home. And we look at sitting, arriving at meditation as just this, getting home. And there's this moment of, that's nice. And of course some distractions begin to arise, the hindrances of wanting, sensual desire, and not wanting, ill will. Some tiredness comes about, a bit of restlessness and worry, thoughts about the past and the future, and maybe some doubts about how you're practicing, what you're doing. Now in terms of restlessness and worry, the past and the future, it's as a chipmunk, sorry. Restless and worry, the past and the future, it's comparable to your experience of the office in the day, your workplace. Now, you've just arrived home, and most people can actually sit down and think, well, that was work. Compartmentalise, I'll deal with all of that tomorrow. And leave it. Leave it in the past. Leave today behind you. Because you know to be there for tomorrow, but for now you're at home. And that is the way we look at leaving our thoughts of the past and our thoughts of the future alone for this present time, for this time when we meditate. And really bringing that into all of our daily experience. Therefore staying in the moment we have. Experiencing what we're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching, and how we are receiving that, thinking about it, here and now, in the present moment. Of course, we first arrive home, and we need to start to relax, but we don't try. We just allow ourselves, having arrived home, made ourselves comfortable, or we've sat in our meditation posture, to let it be, let it happen. And then we're moving into the second stage of meditation, which I call settling or settle. or Parikamma Samadhi, preliminary concentration. And by this, it is meant that we have settled, both physically, enough for our bodies to begin to relax, the tensions to ease, and our minds to become less thoughtful, less concerned about thinking about the future, worrying about the past, less proliferation. Now, if we were at home, we would probably switch on the television, some music, or maybe pick up something to read. And this we can consider as similar to our meditation object in meditation. And this could be the breath, watching the breath. If we go back to our example of being at home and you've picked up a book to read, then you start to develop interest. Your body has started to relax, your mind has started to be less wandering, and you're able to start developing interest in your book. And this is the third stage of samadhi, upacchaya samadhi. Now this already is a very high level of attainment in meditation, but still quite some distance, some away from the jhanas. Now maybe some people are thinking these are the jhanas, but these really are just 4 stages leading up to the first of the jhanas, the first of 8. So you see where I'm coming from. This is what we need to be practicing firstly in order to be developing our samadhi sufficiently to even consider experiencing the jhanas, the first jhana. So as we relax and we can become interested in reading our book, meditation, we're able to just keep our awareness, concentration, not so much concentration, but our awareness on the meditation object, for it to be foremost in our mind, and the hindrances, that sensual desire, ill will, tiredness, restlessness and worry, and doubt, begin to drop, disappear. You've probably noticed as you get into your television program or reading a book or listening to some music, the desire to get up and get something to drink or to move even is not so much disturbing your focus, your attention from what you are doing. You've probably experienced reading a book, being very interested, and after quite some time thought when you had to get up, you've lost the feeling in your leg, you've got a numb leg or pins and needles, and you weren't even aware that you were uncomfortable because you were absorbed, becoming absorbed. And this is moving on to this 4th stage, appana samadhi, which is absorption, concentration, just that. Like you can be absorbed in some beautiful music, absorbed into a movie, you can be absorbed into meditation, your meditation object. Now why do people come to the monastery? Well, it's to really live in a situation whereby you are free from the ability to distract yourself. There are always distractions. But when we're at home, we have entertainment, we have refrigerators, we have other people, we have the option to go out, or the option to go to sleep. This is all taking our minds, our focus away from the practice. And when the Buddha said, time marches relentlessly on, how well are you spending this time? He was referring to spending this time developing wholesome mind states, reducing unwholesome mind states. Now if we distract ourselves with a movie, and it's very good, if we really think about it though, we wouldn't want to be in that movie with an axe-wielding psychopath or someone pointing a gun at us. Far from it. But to see this representation visually and audibly stimulates something in our bodies, generating chemicals which are appreciated in the mind much the same as are the artificial equivalent we find in intoxicants, and therefore are a distraction away from what we call suffering. But when we understand the nature of suffering is impermanent, then we are no longer so inclined to put so much effort into distracting ourselves from a little bit of suffering, and more inclined to develop patience and forbearance to bear with that suffering for just a short time until we can reach much higher levels of absorption. Much the same as when we're sitting reading a book, we don't notice our leg has gone numb because the book is so good. This experience is there, it is the same. But of course without the requirement of a book. And coming to the monastery, you have nothing else to do than to practice meditation. But you can still do this at home. It doesn't have to be on these moon days, UPOSATHA days. You could pick Sunday or Saturday or Wednesday. It's neither here nor there, or maybe only once a month. But as you develop your interest and the ability to become absorbed in a meditation object rather than some other form of distraction, then you will want to do it more and more. And it doesn't have to take up much time. But whilst you are doing it, you are developing this mindfulness. By developing samadhi, you are sharpening the tools, you are sharpening the knife to really slice through. Like a blunt knife cannot cut through a tomato, a sharpened knife slices through cleanly. And this is the similar experience we get from developing samadhi to sharpen, heighten our sense of awareness in the first instance to all of our experiences through our sense windows of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting and touching, but then also the development of this wisdom by developing wholesome mind states and establishing this inner quality of equanimity, this equanimous understanding rather than reacting of all that you experience, that gives us this enormous sense of serenity, calm and well-being, peace, equanimity and peace. And from this we develop other qualities: love and kindness, compassion. Without trying, without repeating words, without reading and developing intellectual knowledge, by simply appreciating we have this ability to become absorbed in something. So rather than becoming absorbed in our computer game or our TV or our book, try and train, practice such that you can become absorbed in something as readily available as the breath. And this is so simple. It is always with you. So you can always be coming home, ready to settle, relax, and become absorbed. Home, settle, relax, absorbed. That's the 4 stages of samadhi. And it is at this stage of absorption that you experience seclusion fully from those 5 hindrances. And you experience physical rapture, piti, along with mental pleasure or happiness, sukha. And piti and sukha, this physical rapture and happiness, and total seclusion from those external 5 hindrances, is the first jhana. So simply come home, settle, relax, and absorb. It's that easy, just that. I will try tomorrow, if I can, to put the guided meditation on live, but I haven't worked out quite how to do that yet. If I can, it'll be around 3:15 in the morning, this time, which is awake time at some end of the day in most parts of the world. But if not, maybe I'll just record another one, but we'll see. It may not be useful at all. Now, I don't know, this is my second attempt at this video, so I can't now remember what I've already said, whether it was the first attempt where I forgot to turn the button, turn it on, or whether I've said it in this. But on Friday I was supposed to go to Cambodia, which I'm not now. I'm going on Saturday. But this is only for the day to renew my visa and return. But I will try and make some videos of that experience. The experience of monastic life when we encounter the outside world. Because we have to do that from time to time. Like if you go back on my trip to come here, I was at the airport, I tried to make a video there, and on my many trips for UPOSATHA occasions from my coastal kuti in the forest on the west coast of India into the city of Bangalore, a 12-hour night-time bus journey, I made videos of those experiences. Because we do as monastics from time to time have to go into the outside world, and these experiences are, in my opinion, valuable to share, because it is demonstrative of how one can, this is my gecko friend calling. I've yet to catch him on video making this noise. You can hear him, but I've not seen him. But I won't jump up and try now, because it will all go wrong. So I will try and put those on there then, but I'm sure I'll have occasion to make another video in the meantime. There's been some sounds. I hope this microphone has worked today, because we've got the cicadas. We have my brother monk who's staying over there at the moment, who's not so quiet most of the time, because we're all different. And now we have my friend the gecko. But we experience all that we're seeing as seeing, hearing as hearing, just that. And it is the knowing of these experiences, whether you're in the busy outside world of the city or in the seemingly serene and peaceful, calm environment of the monastery, which is in fact the reality of nature in the jungle, with rains, with mosquitoes, with ants, snakes, and noises, different experiences, but all part of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. And it is that thinking that we are able to develop into more understanding than reacting. And that understanding rather than reacting is what we call equanimity. Now I do feel, as a result of my second time around on this same video, I am going into repetitive mode. It's quite hard to do when you record one for half an hour or 40 minutes and then try to record the same. So actually I've recorded something I think completely different. But I'm sure that will do for now. So thank you for watching. I hope it's useful, and I'll look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Okay, goodbye.